with Glow, as in hashtag Go with Glow. Today's Formation Friday is going to be about credit. How important is credit? When should we start worrying about credit? Is no credit better than having bad credit? So Johanna, who is the owner of Credit RX and who has helped tons of families reach their goal, whether it's buying a house or buying a car or just getting your credit better, agreed to sit with me, and we're going to go over some things and see if some information may help some of you guys out there. Hi, Johanna.
Hi, Glow.
So I always try to base my questions off just generality, what people have asked me throughout the years and everything. What is credit? Obviously I know, but I want them to know.
Sure. It's very simple. So we have 3 credit bureaus.
Okay.
We have TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian.
Okay.
And I always want to think about it as 3 file cabinets. So every time you go and apply for something, the creditor is going to open each cabinet and it's going to take the information out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just measuring your ability to pay, if you're paying on time, so that they can actually give you credit.
So it's like, how credit worthy are you?
Correct.
And I always like to tell people, it's like if you borrow somebody, are you going to borrow somebody $200 if they have a history of not paying people back? Or are you going to borrow it to someone who is always paying back or pays you back before ahead of time? So it's kind of like the same thing, except for this determines everything, the overall.
Mm-hmm.
What age do you think people should really start worrying about their credit? And I ask this because I know many college students who are in college, they set up these tables outside these creditors and they kind of wheel them in, and then before you even get out of school, that's not even attributed to school debt.
Mm-hmm.
You have all this debt because now you got these credit cards in college. At what age should we really start being conscious of our credit?
I actually think that you have to inform yourself from a very early age.
Okay.
You can only get your own credit card when you turn 18. You can actually put yourself as an authorized user on someone's credit card when you are 16. However, you should be able to get informed and learn from your parents or from seminars or workshops how to utilize it. Because it's not just getting it, it's learning how to utilize it. So to answer your question, 18 will be the age where you can individually get your own credit, but 16 you're able to put yourself as an authorized user of your parents' credit cards or anything like that.
So basically, really from the first time you're given credit, you really should start being conscious of that point. Don't think that those negative or derogatory remarks on your credit report are not going to follow you, because
totally.
They follow you everywhere you go, no matter how old you are, no matter what job you get. And so that's what I kind of want to put out to people out there. Is like, first of all, really when you're 18, you should start thinking about it.
Right.
And second of all, if you get something on credit, don't think that it's not going to affect you. People get these school loans and they think, oh, they'll file bankruptcy. It doesn't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Another question I wanted to ask you that everybody thinks, is no credit better than bad credit?
So I would probably answer that question, no, it's not better, but it's easier.
Okay.
It's easier to establish it. So when you have no credit or bad credit, lending institutions are actually going to rate you the same way, whether you have no credit or bad credit. So technically they will say, I can't give you anything because I don't know how you pay your bills when you have no credit. And then when you have bad credit, they will tell you, I can't give you anything because you can't seem to be responsible with your credit that you have. However, when you don't have any credit because you're, really young, 18 years old, or maybe I just had a client that is 75 years old and he hasn't had any credit for 45 years. Or maybe some of us, our parents or, people just don't want credit. So it's not just a young person thing, it's just people that don't have any credit. But it is easier to reestablish or establish credit. And it'll be a little cheaper or, more inexpensive to do programs that establishes your credit as opposed to having to do full-blown, repair because you didn't pay your bills or because you did bankruptcy. So it is better, but it's still rated the same way.
Okay, so anybody out there who doesn't have credit or is trying to reestablish credit or has bad credit, it is not the end of the world. It can be fixed, it can be turned around. See all these people behind us? These are some of the people that Johanna and her company we're able to help achieve their dream. Again, whether that's buying a home, buying a car. So don't lose hope. It could still happen. And then last thing I wanted to talk about, which I found so interesting, is why did you start this company?
So it's interesting because it was a personal experience. My husband and I wanted to purchase a property, and it so happened to be that my husband had a little bit of a challenging credit. And what I did, as many consumers that are watching us do, is I try to do it on my own. So I started paying my bills, my collections, and try to settle stuff, and I actually made it worse. So then I turned it into an assignment.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Oh, by the way, paying collections, it'll drop your credit. So just be careful with that. So that's what I did. And so as a consumer, I only did what people were saying to me. So I made it my assignment to learn all the things about credit. And then that's when the little light bulb went off. And I said, well, this is great for a lot of people. And, we have taken care of 3,500 cases plus. So,
Wow,
yeah,
that's great.
yeah.
So if you want any information about real estate in general and or credit, my contact information is on this page. Go ahead and reach out to me, and I can either answer your questions or put you in direct contact with Johanna. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you next month.